What up, what up? This is Merrick. I'm representing Hustlenomics LLC with the greatest co-host ever, Terrence Rice.
Yes, sir. My pleasure, man. It's been a while, Merrick. How long it's been? Like 2-3 months since we did the podcast?
I think about 2 or 3 months,
We
Terrence.
back, though. We back. And we got my guys here, man. The experts straight out of the Air Force, man. You in Air Force too, right?
Not no more, nah.
You was. Armed Forces, man. Thank y'all for y'all service, man. For real. Got 3 vets. You got 3 vets right here, man. What's up, Merrick? Talk that.
Man, I'm grateful that I got to serve, but I respect these 2 gentlemen. This gentleman right here just told me he did he's doing another 5 years, 6 years?
Yes, 5-6 more years in the Air Force. Let's go.
Respect.
None but respect.
But we got something special, more special than y'all, man. Y'all serving, but then also y'all trying to build outside. That way you got a life outside the Air Force. So let's talk about it, man. Let's hop into it, man. Where y'all at? What y'all doing, man? In real estate. What's y'all niche?
Yeah, so right now, first let me introduce myself. My name is Elijah.
Oh, yeah.
Currently an officer in the Air Force, but I do real estate on the side. It's lit, residential properties, rental properties, also short-term rentals. And that's just, a little bit that I do. And we also do a little bit of government contracting as well.
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
I'll go ahead and introduce myself, too. My name is Miles Puller. I'm co-founder of Diamond Realty Partners. Like Elijah said, we do government contracting, short-term rentals, and on the personal side as well, I have a few investment properties doing Section 8.
How old are you, gentlemen?
We love that.
I'm 24.
23.
You're 24? How old are you?
23.
You're 23?
Yeah.
Both these gentlemen are younger than me, and they buying rental properties. That's outstanding.
Let's go.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I'm thoroughly impressed.
So how y'all? I always like to start, man. How did y'all get into it?
Right. So for me personally, I went to the Air Force Academy, and I was blessed enough to, start my master's at Rice University in Houston. And in doing so, I was able to meet a lot of great people, have a lot of great mentors that are actually in, the real estate industry. So it was just a blessing to be able to meet my mentor, Chuck Wells. And he kind of walked me through my first property and introduced me to, that whole new world of, investment properties, short-term rentals, and then just, generational wealth.
So to add on what Elijah was saying, so we actually played football together at the Air Force Academy.
You play ball too?
Yeah.
What you play?
We both play a cornerback.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, so
Dogs.
Yeah, so and in college, we obviously knew each other, but we weren't in the same friend groups. But we ended up both moving out to Houston. We hit each other up, hung out, and the first day we hung out, we was like, man, we need to make some money. How we gonna make some money? So we started doing some research, and then we originally started with Airbnb, short-term rentals, and then we expanded to more sustainable methods such as government contracting. And like he said, we found mentors like Charles Wells and a few others that helped us get our first properties on Section 8. And here we are now.
So when you took that jump into, you started off with Airbnb, correct?
Correct.
So walk me through your first Airbnb property, man. How did that experience? Tell me about that experience.
Yeah, man, it was crazy. So we took a course. It was like $100, $200 course, and it was pretty much for subleasing. So you would call apartment complex to see if they allowed Airbnbs, and after that, if they say yes, you would sign a corporate lease with them, furnish the unit, put on Airbnb. Quite simple. So anyway, we thought it was simple until I called over 80 apartments, and they all told me no.
So basically, sublease, for those who don't know, that's when you do what with an apartment unit? Pretend like there's people who don't know.
Okay,
because,
you're right. You're right. So pretty much subleasing is when you rent out a property on Section 8 that you don't own. So you sign a lease renting the property, with a property management company, a owner, and you sublease it on Airbnb. So it took me over 80 calls, me and Elijah over 80 calls to find a property, but we finally found our first one, which was close to downtown Houston, and that's when we begun.
Check. Man, so it seems y'all got persistence. Calling 80 apartment complexes? Yeah, man, that's no small task.
Yeah, man.
So how was the first deal? How'd y'all run the numbers and evaluate it?
Right. So specifically, we used a tool called AirDNA. So we were able to search for certain zip codes and be able to evaluate, the amount of cash flow, rental income on Airbnb. And we decided that Houston was a good area, that location was a good area. And then that's why we reached out to that location what was it, 3030 Summer Street, our first property. So,
Man,
you know, it was
that's
a good
what's up.
time. Yeah.
How much profit did y'all net, like monthly on average at Airbnb? So
Probably about 2,000, 2K cash
Profit?
flow. Yes.
Yeah.
A month.
That's
During,
significant.
yes, a month during,
During
the high
high
season.
season.
High season.
That's what's up.
So like
though.
1 to 2K for each property throughout the year.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Right.
So
per
for
month, right?
Per
Yeah,
month.
per
so
month.
good.
y'all were using apartment complexes that you were what's it called subleasing?
Yeah,
Or-
so our,
Okay,
our
okay.
first deal was with an apartment complex, and then our second deal in Arlington was with an actual homeowner. We got a townhouse close to the Cowboys Stadium.
Okay.
So, and then our next one, we decided to move to Colorado because Texas started being very saturated, and the Colorado market was wide open, you know, especially during really all times of the year because, you know, obviously summer, no matter where you go, a lot of people are traveling, and in the winter, people go to Colorado for the snow. So it was just perfect.
Right on, man.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, specifically with the numbers, the way that we calculate our daily rate, we use a tool called Price Labs, which is kind of it's a dynamic pricing tool that kind of automates the process, so we don't have to continuously go back and forth changing. Oh, this weekend we're gonna make it higher rate than during the weekdays. So we just use that tool, and it basically, you know, is able to take in all the statistics of our competitors, of the hotels in the area, and then it formulates like a good daily rate at the time. So that really helps with the cash flow.
Does it give you insights on, like, say you want to evaluate a property to see if it's a good deal or not? Does it give you that type of information, or is it just like once you're on the platform, then you know?
It depends. It also you can also filter out your competitors to see in that specific area which amenities is most popular and most beneficial. For example, in Colorado Springs, the units that had hot tubs actually was more. They increased the daily rate on those specific units. So you can see those type of statistics on AirDNA as well as Price Labs.
And then we're giving y'all all the secret sauce too. And then with those two platforms, you use a platform called 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐤. So you can list your property on Airbnb, Vrbo, Booking.com, and it merges all the platforms to one. So you just use one centralized app to message all your guests. It combines the calendars. So if you get booked on Airbnb, it will block off the calendar on the other two platforms, and then it will merge it onto this one software. So it's very simple for, you know, property management, cleaning, things like that.
That's lit.
Sound like your platform that you love, man.
That turbo tenant. But
Turbo.
hey,
You know about Turbo? Y'all know about Turbo
Yeah.
Tenant? Yeah.
But
But
it
you
seems
gotta
like-
get them sponsored on here, man. All these platforms.
that's true. We do.
Wait,
need
is this
some
your
sponsorships.
platform?
What's up?
Is Turbo 10 in your platform?
No,
No,
but I
that's
need
what
some
he love.
sponsorships.
That's what he love.
I
He
be
love
talking
you.
about them.
Yeah.
They need to start cutting me a check.
Yeah.
But digressing, how'd y'all transition from Airbnb to Section 8? That's what I want to know.
Right. So specifically for me, the Airbnb was, you know, I'm also a co-founder of Diamond Realty Partners. So the Airbnbs and short-term rentals were more so for business related. The rental properties, long-term rentals were for personal.
Okay.
So because I am in the military, I'm in the Air Force, we do have this, you know, this great opportunity called the VA loan. So
This is true.
0% down, no down payment. And I was able to leverage that to my advantage to get my first property, in which then I put it on Section 8.
What was your first property? Single family, duplex, triplex?
It was a single family, 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
That's what's up.
And then I also got a second property in Humble, Texas, which is a 5-bedroom, 2-bath, 2.5.
How'd you get the second one? You used the VA twice? What's going on?
Yes. So with the VA, you have a maximum entitlement. So for me, my first home cost around like $270, and then this next home was $300, and I'm reaching that peak maximum entitlement for the VA, which is around $725.
Oh, so you can get up to $725,000 worth of
Max,
homes.
at one time. Yeah.
I thought now in Houston, the peak is 450,000. How much the max house you can get with your VA loan?
Right. So it does depend, you know, your rank, you know, your so it's a little bit difficult for the entitlement, right? You can have a maximum limit per house, per home, and you can have a maximum total limit at one time. So right now, I think for 2023, they just increased the VA entitlement for the VA loan to about $725 because of inflation.
No way.
Right.
That's what's up, though.
And a way to get around it too, you know, you can refinance your house in a few years and free up some of that VA entitlement. So, you know, you can keep using the VA loan. Typically, however, the VA only lets you get around 4 to 5 primary VA home loans. So you definitely got to take advantage of it.
That's a good start, though.
Yeah,
I mean, 4 homes,
100%.
0% down, right?
That is true.
That's a good start. Shoot. Anybody will take that. Y'all boys fortunate.
Yeah, definitely. It's a
Just
blessing.
do your numbers, make sure it's evaluated right, and then make sure you got a little cash for the storm at the beginning. And hopefully it's on. Yeah, that's cool.
For sure. I know we shouting out platforms right now. So a big platform we use is called DealCheck. I don't know if y'all are familiar.
Nah, tell us.
So DealCheck, make an account is free, and you can put the address of a property, and it will pull all the numbers, every single number you can imagine, from bedrooms to price to after repair value, anything. And you know you can run the comps. You can put how much you think you're gonna make, you know, rent each month, and it'll pretty much break down if it's a good deal or not. So
what is it? Is it a free platform or you gotta
yeah, it's
pay
a free platform.
That's what's up.
DealCheck.
No, I haven't heard about that one.
Nah, I like free.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to know
Need
is,
these tools though.
tell me, your first Section 8 deal. Can you tell us about the experience and how you just went through that whole entire process?
Right. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and start off with my first experience with Section 8. So, you know, I had my mentor, Chuck Wells. He just said, look, we're going to put this on Section 8. And he just threw me in the fire. I said, hey, can I use your services to rent it out? He's like, no, you got to figure out all on your own. So I had to go through the screening process, find my tenant on my own, deal with, you know, the housing authority.
How'd you screen your tenant?
So I use this software called 𝐜𝐨𝐬, which it basically has a built-in application process that can, you know, email to certain tenants. They fill out the application, put their information in, and there's also a credit tool. So I looked at their credit score, and I also did a background check.
Okay, so you did a background check. You looked at their credit. And so what was an automatic red flag? Ain't no way you're not coming to my house, man.
If they weren't able to provide me any proof of income.
Okay, that's
Definitely.
one.
Proof of income. And then second, of course, if they had something on their background that was just pretty bad, maybe like a felony, I would
Okay.
definitely skip on that. Also, if I called them and they just wasn't really responsive, or I could tell that they weren't respectful, I would kind of take that into consideration for sure. But really, right when I put the home on the market, I had like 10, 15 people blowing up my phone.
Same day?
Yeah, so it's high demand. Section 8 is high demand, so I had to filter out the good ones from the bad ones, and then I took it from there.
Okay.
And I guess I could add my story too. So like Elijah says, the Section 8 demand in Houston is insane, man. So I bought my house. It was sitting vacant for probably a month and a half before I found a tenant. And that's because, you know, like he said, I got multiple people interested. However, they had criminal history. One of the ladies I met in person at the house, she wouldn't even look at me in the eyes. You know, little things like that, man, it just turned me off. So, but I was very patient. I waited, and I finding an excellent tenant, you know, very respectful, has income, doesn't have any, you know, criminal history. And, you know, I have her in there now. So
How long you had her in there?
So she's been in there a month and a half, and I actually just got my first back payment check from the Houston Housing Authority last week. So it does take some time. You definitely have to be patient. You know, I would recommend for anybody, you know, after you buy the house to have at least, I would say, $10K liquid because of repairs, and then making sure you can cover, you know, the mortgage for at least 2 to 3 months. And then, you know, if you have that, man, you'll be safe. So.
No, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. So what y'all did Airbnb to Section 8.
So we did Airbnb to government contracting, and Section 8 was more on the personal side, you know, building our personal wealth. So the biggest thing for us, and the biggest problem with any business is you need to create cash flow.
Definitely.
You know, and we started with Airbnb. It was very cool. However, during the slow season, it could get slow, you know, and you have running a business, you have a lot of bills and expenses you have to pay.
Facts.
So, you know, right now, we're doing great. You know, the rental income is very nice. However, when it gets to December, January, things like that, it slows a bit down. So we're like, we need something concrete that's not going to change all throughout the year. So Elijah found a mentor for us in the government contracting space.
Shout out to the mentors.
Yeah.
We end up taking a course with him, and we have this far we've won 2 government contracts for residential housing. Mm-hmm. So pretty much what government contracting is think of the government as a big business, right? The biggest business, the biggest spender in the United States. And if they need anything from toilet paper to housing to guns. They'll post a government contract on sam.gov to give every government or to give every company a fair shot at, you know, doing business with the government. So we got very lucky. You know, we took the course, we learned government contracting, and the week we got done, there was a contract for residential housing. And, yeah.
I remember that night like it was nothing. Me and him were, you know, we were on a Zoom call looking through the contracts, and I was just like, Miles, bro, this is it. This is it right here.
Exactly.
He was like, what you mean? I'm like, bro, this contract, I know we can win it. And it was just a blessing how everything just fell into line when it happened.
What was that deal? Walk us through it. What happened when you seen it?
Right. So essentially, it was a Texas Parks and Wildlife residential lease deal. They're looking to house some of their employees, and you know that's kind of right up our alley with, you know, short-term rentals, you know, corporate housing, finding spots for nurses and everything like that. So I was like, this is something that we can do and that we have experience in. So essentially, we, you know, met the requirements: location, bedroom, square footage that they want. We found it on Zillow. We found a property on Zillow that met these requirements, and we just contacted the property owner and explained that, hey, you know, we work closely with this agency. They're looking for housing, and then we just set up a teaming agreement between them.
A 10-year agreement?
No, teaming agreement. Teaming agreement.
I thought you said 10 years.
Yes.
How long is it for though? How long is it for?
5 years.
5. That's not bad. I mean, 5 years.
Yeah.
Hey, you
That
get paid for
homeowner's
something
winning.
that you did, you know, a couple hours for 5 years. That ain't bad at
100%.
all.
It probably took about 2 hours of work, and then what you do is you submit a bid. So you have the price sheet, then you submit pictures of the property, and then they'll alert you in 1 to 2 weeks if you won or not. So we won that first contract, and then we really should be up 3 contracts, but one of the contracts, it was due at 2 p.m. and the email sent at 2:15. So I automatically disqualified the bid. So the next contract we won is the exact same. However, it's in this county, Big Spring. It's a very small county in Texas, but yeah, you know, same type of thing, residential lease. So now, you know, since we got our feet wet, we're looking to expand into the commercial space as well as lodging. There's a lot of opportunities there.
That's
So
outstanding.
what was the significance of the contract? What did they want? What did they didn't want? You know, what was the details?
Yeah, so both of them were pretty simple. The first one was a 4-bedroom. Originally, it was just in Galveston. However, you know, the quality of homes in Galveston ain't that hot, so they expanded it to, you know, League City, things like that. So we were able to find a house for them in League City, and you know, just a nice neighborhood, low crime rate, hardwood floors, modern, and that one was actually a furnished unit as well.
Okay. What did they want? Like, you know, with the homes, did they want them like done up real nice or?
Yeah, I mean, definitely we, you know, the home sold by the pictures and by the quality, because as soon as they walked in there, they were just automatically in love with it. Okay. Whereas in Galveston, I'm pretty sure they had a few bids, but you know, the quality of the homes was just very, very old and you know,
definitely.
raggedy. So.
Definitely. No, that's cool. Do you got to upkeep the home like throughout the period or something? Do you got to go in and keep it modern or like?
So what I like about government contracting is it's very passive. That Galveston contract, we've had it for about 7 months, 8 months now, and I've probably been on 6 phone calls about it the whole time. So very minor things, you know, making sure the lawn care is set up, and you know, but you put that on auto pay. And then as far as the maintenance of the home, it's really on the tenant. And then any major problems, we have the owner, which is also kind of like the maintenance person, so he just goes through her.
That's not bad at all. It's not bad at all.
That's very smart.
Yeah. So where y'all at now? What's current? So essentially, you started off with Airbnb, you know, then you went to government contract, got the exposure, then your personal. Now, what's the future? Where y'all want to go?
Right. So specifically, we have been looking heavily into the government contracting space, pushing to commercial, office space leases and lodging leases. Right now, we are looking at a very, very large contract in Seattle, but I don't want to get into those details too much.
No, from a high level, just say high level standpoint of where you trying to go with it. What do you see in the market? You don't have to.
Oh, right.
Specifics.
So what I see in the market right now is there's so much opportunity for office space, commercial leases. There's a lot of government agencies right now looking to fill vacancies, looking to find spaces, and with the government contracting, they have to put out those contracts. They have to incentivize competition, or else they're not being fair for small businesses, disabled veteran businesses, veteran-owned businesses. They have to be able to incentivize that competition. So they, like, every 2 to 3 years, they have to renew leases and put out these contracts. So I would say, you know, pushing to the future, we definitely want to gain more connections, network in the commercial space. And we have been working on some in the commercial space as well.
To answer your question, though, ultimate goal, man, I'm trying to build a skyscraper.
Definitely, I'm with that.
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
That's a long term vision.
Trying
That's
to build a
long-term goal.
skyscraper.
Yeah.
Why?
So, go ahead.
You said why?
Why?
Man, to me, it's just to prove myself that I can do anything. You know, I love real estate. I've always loved real estate, love looking at buildings. And a skyscraper is just the pinnacle of that. And, you know, just the architecture, the design, the sharp lines, the windows, just, you know, the downtown atmosphere, everything about that, man, I'm just in love with that.
No, that's
I
what's up.
respect your ambition, young man.
Thank you, man.
So yeah, you spoke something about you know, being a minority, being, you know, all these different accolades that you could have being that kind of business. What incentives do you get by being that with the government?
Right. So specifically with the government, they give incentivizations for women-owned businesses, small businesses, veteran-owned, disabled veteran-owned, and minority-owned businesses.
And you check like 3 of those boxes, huh?
Right. But specifically within the government contracting space, there's state contracts and federal contracts. So being a minority-owned business doesn't really benefit you on the federal level, but on the state level, there's a lot more opportunities to leverage that set aside.
And what those set asides do pretty much, let's just say there's a big contract and 3 companies bid. 2 of them are veteran owned and the other one is a large corporation. If those 2 veteran company owned, they'll remake it set aside 4 veteran owned companies automatically disqualifying that big company.
Even if the numbers off, or like how does the numbers factor into it?
So the numbers really don't have to do with anything as long as you can deliver what the government wants. And if
So you can have a higher bid and they're gonna pick you over the other people, or it has to be some type of reasonable.
So what 𝐬𝐸 is alluding to is it's called the rule of 2 in government contracting. So basically,
There we go. Knew it was something out there.
so with the rule of 2, it's like if 2 set-asides submit a bid, they can basically try to enforce or force the contracting officer's hand to make this a set-aside contract for veteran-owned or for minority-owned or for women-owned. But it has to be 2 businesses that submit a proposal.
And then just to answer your question, as far as picking the contract too, price is definitely a factor, but I wouldn't say it's the biggest factor.
Let's talk about it though.
Yeah.
I don't know much.
Yeah, so the biggest thing, they want the job to be done and done correctly. So if they want the job done and done correctly, normally the most important thing is your past performance. You have to have history within the government. And it's hard, right? Because if you're a small business starting out, you ain't got no past performance.
True.
But you got to get these little baby contracts. Like the residential contracts we got compared to these multi-million-dollar contracts are baby contracts.
So, based on the residential contracts that y'all have, I'm not asking y'all to put your whole business out there, but give the viewers an idea of, okay, I want to do a residential contract. What type of numbers will I be looking at just starting out?
So it really depends how you price it. You know, you want to be very competitive. However, for our second contract we won, we knew we were the only company bidding on it, so we could tax the government. And you know, government are people who print the money.
Good.
So you know, man, it's unlimited. But I would say, you know, realistically, you could probably get $1,500 a month for each property profit.
That's what's up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely what's up.
Higher or lower, it depends.
That's what's up.
That's what's up.
But it seems that y'all told us where y'all trying to go. I see you trying to build a skyscraper. Y'all trying to buy more, get more government contracts. I'm absolutely impressed and awed by y'all's ambition. I love it. Like y'all got me fired up. But man, what are y'all's end goals within the next 5 to 10 years, and any book recommendations?
Right. So the end goal in the next 5 to 10 years is just to continue to develop the business. Definitely, we want to be able to complete this program for the SBA. It's called the 8A Small Business Program. And that is definitely, it's a part of government contracting, right? So it involves that space. So if we apply for that program and we get in it and we're considered an 8A small business, we're able to leverage that essentially as another set aside. And we can basically be the sole source winners of a lot of these contracts. So that's something that I definitely want to achieve for the business.
Oh wow! So there's a lot of credentials out here.
Yes, yeah, a lot of credentials.
So how do I before we get to the last concluding questions, I just want to know, like, who wins these contracts? Do you see similar people, or just multifaceted type.
It's a variety from, you know, companies like Marriott and Hyatt. They actually are registered with the government, so they can fulfill, you know, these lodging contracts. However, there's sometimes small business set asides, so, you know, and they're not nowhere near a small business. So there's companies like ourselves that will bid on these contracts, and most of them do sublease. So, you know, they'll find a property, whether it's for lodging, commercial, residential. They'll get in contact with the owner or the, you know, sales manager for the hotel, and, you know, just connect the dots, be that middleman, and put your profit on top.
No, that's cool. Yeah. That's cool. I guess back to the goals, man. Where y'all see yourselves?
So
you said skyscraper. 5 years? Where you see yourself 5 years? I mean, it's doable.
Yeah,
It's definitely doable.
I don't have a
partner
time
with somebody and you can make that happen.
for sure. I don't know if I have a timeline for the skyscraper yet. I know my biggest goal is just to get 2% better every day. 1% better is the gym every day, no matter what. And then the other 2%, the other 1% is, you know, working on my business, making some money. So as long as I just stay consistent, it's gonna compound over time, man. And I know, you know, anything I want in life, I'm gonna be able to accomplish it. With that being said, your question about book recommendations, The Power of Habit.
Power of Habit.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like self-help books. You know, to each is their own.
No,
but,
self-help books are powerful.
Yeah, but you know, if you really focus on your habits, your habits create your entire life. You know,
Facts.
Yeah, a lot of people have excuses for where they're at in their life, but you know, you're sitting exactly where you are because of your own actions and your own habits. You know, if you're upset, you're not on a private jet, or you don't got a view of the ocean in Miami, that's your fault. That's nobody else's fault. And you have to take accountability of your habits and your actions so you can get there.
Absolutely correct. What about you?
I really, really fell in love with the People's Principles.
The People's Principles?
These some different books. I like
Yeah,
that. Most people, rich dad, poor dad. You know, so I like this.
I like the People's Principles because it's by a real African American, one of the greatest real estate developers of the time. He's actually building the tallest skyscraper in New York right now, and you know, reading that book actually gave me so much, you know, inspiration to kind of reach into even the government contracting space, how to leverage these deals, how to negotiate.
What's the name of that book you just said?
The People's Principles.
And The Power of Habit?
Yeah.
I'm going Audible right now.
Yeah. But go ahead. What happened?
Right. So like within the book, it basically, you know, he's starting off in Washington, D.C., and he just tells about his journey into becoming, you know, the most influential African American real estate developer of modern times. And at the age of, I think, 28, he did his first real estate development. And he leveraged basically a lot of his political contacts, his contacts in the city. But another thing is he also leveraged his ability to make connections, to connect the dots, to leverage the contracts, to take control of the property. And, you know, I look at that book all the time. I'm just like, this is very feasible for us. And so
I definitely
really
feel like connecting the dots is the biggest thing ever. It's like when I was telling one of my friends, all I need to do is put you in a room. And like for me, it's like I don't know how to connect those dots all the time. By, you know, we all got our own personal ambitions, but like I feel like if you're in a room with some people that's doing business and you got some type of ambition to drive, you'll figure out how to connect those dots. But being strategic and thinking about it, that's always the hardest part. It's like, all right, how can we leverage each other? You know, we want to make win-wins for each other, but that's definitely something I've been more thoughtful of in my new season as well. So I like that we're on the same page.
100%. I mean, I think a lot of people don't understand the importance of having a good network. Your network is your net worth.
Facts.
And, you know, whatever you want to accomplish, if you have insanely big dreams, you're not going to get there by yourself. It's impossible. So, you know, you can't be scared to ask for help. You can't be scared to be vulnerable. You can't be scared, you know, to wear your heart on your sleeve and go to these people that you're inspired by and be like, look, you inspire me a lot. Teach me, you know, is there anything I can do to help you? Is there anything I can do to make your life easier? Just little things like that. Show them how ambitious you are, and they're going to return the favor by, you know, giving you knowledge, because the only difference between a billionaire and a millionaire, or a billionaire and us, is knowledge. They had the knowledge how to get there. We don't right now. That's why we're not billionaires.
And knowledge and that discipline. That discipline that you was talking about is hard, man. That discipline.
Hey, Terrence.
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
What's up?
You got any book recommendations, brother?
Right now I'm reading You Got Rich Dad Poor Dad. His
Robert Kiyosaki?
Yeah, his Tax-Free Wealth by Tom Wheelwright.
Yeah.
So it's talking about pretty much all the essence of, you know, how to alleviate taxes. You know, the rich don't pay taxes. The middle class pay taxes. and they supply the government and everyone else. So I'm truly grateful to like have that exposure to read his book to understand, you know, life policies. Once I die, like how can I alleviate my kids paying taxes, all these different things. So this book right now is definitely important to me. So I got a couple other books on my list, but this one right here, it's a must though for sure, because it gives you the essence of I don't want to work. You know, like I do want to work, but I want to create and be on that B and I side, you know, of the 4 quadrant, and actually be able to, you know, pour into people. You know about it, but then this book actually outlines why it's important, the incentives behind it, and essentially, you know, in essence, the book starts off as like, you know, the reason the government give tax breaks to the rich is because they create opportunities for people, and so the people that don't have opportunities, where would they be without these people? You know. So essentially, like I'm like, oh wow, I want to be one of those people that's adding to the economy and, you know, providing, you know, resources for people, jobs, vacation time, opportunity for the kids to go, whatever, man. And if you're not a business person, then who's going to create those opportunities for everyday people? I want to be on that side. So yeah, that's my book. What about yourself? I'm gonna toss it back to you. You Mr. Book Guru, man. So I got 3 of your books in my bathroom right now.
Fair enough. Man, there's 2 books I'm working on. I'm working on No More Mr. Nice Guy.
Okay.
And I'm working on...
Well, you need to read another book because you too rough already, man.
And I'm reading a book called How to Invest in Commercial Real Estate for Dummies. Okay. So my end goal with how to invest in commercial real estate for dummies is I want to buy an apartment complex. Right. I'm thinking between 8 to 10 units. I'm going to sell one of my single families off. And my end goal would be either to buy more single families and do the Section 8 method y'all were discussing, or it would be to buy one commercial property and rent it out, albeit just buying by myself or joint venturing on a deal. And that's my goal for next year. Or laundromat. Everything's still up in the air right now. And No More Mr. Nice Guy. That book, I used to be a real nice guy. And that's not a good thing because people, like my tenants especially, some of my tenants would take my kindness for weakness. Like, oh, I'll pay you there. I'll pay you here. Man, it's a great book for people who used to be people pleasers like me to develop a spine and learn how to get what you want out of life. So I highly recommend both those books.
Definitely check them out.
Definitely, man. You want to include us, man?
Man, I got you. Hey, this is Merritt, represent Hustlenomics LLC. Thank y'all for being locked in with us, and peace.
Peace out.
Yeah.